Okay, welcome everybody. Let's take a look at what we have in front of us regarding the market. This was an email I sent out last night to the members. I send out an email every night to the members Monday through Thursday. Okay, let's read it together. It says S&P 500 futures hit all-time highs again today. Remember, this is just last night's email, right? Not today's email, last night. The universe data suggests a big move in price. Big move in price. What the heck is universe data? And then I went on to say we have to wait and see if price begins to fail or not here, as we may have an inversion developing. This is still not confirmed. The market remains bullish. Then I go on to tell them to watch today's video, and I put my disclaimer at the bottom there, okay? Okay, with that in mind, now this was last night, so now let's look at today's charts. Okay, first we'll start with the weekly. We'll look at the daily, and we'll look at my trade that I made today, and we'll look at the intraday charts too. Okay, so let's get started here on the weekly. Oh, got to get the right color. So here on the weekly, today is Tuesday. The range for the week is 130. The market's still trading right now in the futures. It's coming up on 3 o'clock here. So futures are going to trade for a little more than an hour. But intraday is going to close here in about 4 minutes. Okay. You can see this week we hit a high of 5066.5 on the futures. These are the current contract is the March contract. And you can see I've got some support down here on the weekly chart. And I've been talking about this for a while. March 31st through probably like the first or second week of April. All right, I expect there to be some kind of cycle low coming up in here. Or I should say coming down to there. Here is some support. 48.69 and 47.02 are really kind of the natural support that we would see on the weekly chart here. You can tell there's one right there at these two candlesticks. And then there's basically almost 3 candlesticks right here making up this kind of support area. Okay, so remember this number right here. This is an important number for now. Okay, because we're going to see this on the daily chart. Okay, all right. So now, before we move to the daily chart, the big question is this the beginning of some kind of big pullback? Right, because we could get something like that, right? One candlestick goes up again. Something like this goes up again. Yeah. As a matter of fact, that candlestick there really was that cycle low right there, which wasn't much. That one was 126. This one's right now today 130 and looks like it's pretty much done all its business for the day. Now it's beginning to bounce back up. Well, we'll look at the daily when we do that, but this is beginning to bounce. All right. So the question is this the beginning of a greater pullback? It's too early to tell. That is the simple truth. It's just too early to tell if we're going to get it some more, or we can get it next week. Is next week going to be down more? Whatever. However this week, let's say this week finishes down here at 48.69. I'm not saying it will. Let's just say it does. I don't know. Yeah, we'll talk about that more on the daily chart, right? And then let's say next week, does next week do this kind of thing, come down into here? That I don't know yet. We have to wait to kind of see not only the rest of this week, but what's going to happen next week, right? As we continue to examine this weekly chart, right? It's too soon to say for sure if this is the beginning of the pullback coming down into this cycle low area that we have anticipated over here. My gut instinct tells me it is. It probably is, but we don't want to put the cart before the horse, right? Okay, let's take a look. So this is everything I see right now on the weekly chart. 48.69 is near support. Yes, it's possible that we're beginning this pullback down into this cycle low because it could easily be happening right now, getting started. Because remember, this date over here, March 31st, the week of, or even coming out into April, that's the anticipated low, right? Everybody follow me? That's not the beginning of something. That's the end of something. That's the end of a decline, right? Down into here. So very reasonable to assume this could be the beginning of that decline, okay? All right, let's move on to the daily chart. Okay, before we get to the daily chart, here's my trades for the day of $1,012.50. Wasn't trading too much the last few days. Still working a full-time job. Can't always trade. Today I got a chance to trade. And it was a pretty good day. Probably traded a few more contracts than I would like. This is a 21 total contract, so this was about 7 trades, right? 7 times tree equals 21. So a few too many trades going on, but I'm just getting back into the swing of things. I haven't traded in a few days, and sometimes that's the way it goes. Kind of feeling the market. All in all, I'm not complaining. The reason I don't like this many trades here is because the commission starts to kind of eat into the profits a little bit. But all in all, this is still a really good day. Took advantage of the pullback. I'm gonna, just when I show this kind of stuff, I also like to talk about my personal goals. My goals have been $1,000 a day when I am trading. With 3 contracts, I like to see closer to 1,500, but something in the middle like 1,250 would be acceptable. So today's getting back into the swing of things. I'm gonna give myself a little break that I didn't meet my goal really, but I'm not too upset about it. Not upset about it at all. I need to be truthful, but I like to see more like that. Maybe even 1,500 would be a realistic goal. And the other thing I want to work on is today was a monster day, and I just wasn't on my game. It should have been more like about a $3,000 to about a $4,000 day. To be honest, this is what should have happened today. So there's some things that I need to improve on when I'm seeing these big days like this. Okay, so those are kind of my goals. And you should have goals. I always talk about this whenever I'm showing my trade. You should have goals of what you're trying to achieve and always trying to improve on it, right? All right. Okay, let's go continue to the video and let's get back to the charts. All right, so here we are on the daily chart. Intraday just closed, so there's going to be a little less than an hour left here for futures to be trading. So we still got some activity going on here. You can see it's a pretty big day. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Big day. What's happening here? Got some weird stuff. I was kind of hoping some lines got extended here. Well, I'm on the weekly drawing. That'll help. There we go. That's better. On the wrong drawing set. Okay, now that we got the right drawing set up. Daily chart, pretty big candlestick. Range was 103.5. It's obviously a very big day compared to all this crawling forward. Look at this stuff over here, guys. Look at this. A 23.75 day. Okay, that one was decent at 50. This one literally was 16 and a quarter. That one over there was 35. It's just like watching paint dry. Yo, look at this nonsense. Just creeping up every day, little by little. Oh, it drives me nuts. This stuff here, too. Drives me nuts. Because you can't really... It's difficult to really go with big trades here. Because you don't really know how high is high. Okay, that's one thing about going to all-time highs. You don't really know where is the top. Sure, you can draw your Fibonacci retracement tool. But that doesn't really give you... I've seen Fibonacci... I mean, all through this, going through all-time highs is blown through Fibonacci's time and time again. So not a very useful tool when the market's super bullish. It just gets blasted through and moves on to the next one. It's not that you can't make money here, but it's just really tough you got to be more cautious is my point is. When you have this kind of stuff like this crawling up day by day, I mean, your position size has to be a little bit more measured and smaller, and you have to kind of take your profits when you can get them, and they may be smaller profits. Because who's going to be trading these 16? Look at these little tiny candlesticks. Ugh, annoying. So anyway, glad to see the market is given something up here and got some opportunity to make some real bank. 103.5 day. You can see it blasted through this 49.70, and now it's pulled back up to it. Look at this, right as I speak, it's exactly at this support level. Makes sense to me. Almost got down to this 49.26. I do think it will get to that. It almost got to it today. See, today it was 49.36, so within 10 points of this support. What was the bottom of this one? Yeah, see, the bottom of this candlestick right here is 37, and that's where it stopped. That candlestick right there, the bottom of it, was support for today. Okay, everybody get that? Okay, I'm kind of looking at these numbers up here, which may be hard to see, but up in this area. So that candlestick has which is, whatever, 5-6 trading days ago was 49.37, we'll call it 38. And then today was 49.36, so call 37. So there you go. I mean, it's very typical to see the market pull back and find support where there previously was the bottom of a candlestick. Extremely common. And that's the other issue about going to all-time highs. You don't really know how, as I said earlier, you don't really know how high things are going to go because we haven't been there before. All right. Yes, you can use some drawing tools to look at wedges and these kind of things and trend lines, and that is helpful. You should definitely do those kind of things. But if the market was kind of like down here in the middle, and if it was going up or down, well, we would have resistance up and we would have support down. Much easier to trade when you've already been there. But up here, we only got one direction. We only know for certain one direction, that's down. We have all this support. We don't really know resistance. Like I said, Fibonacci is only so good. After a while, it becomes kind of stupid. The Fibonacci just gets blown away and moves on to the next one and the next one. Everybody's kind of guessing, where's this thing going to go? Okay, but this is much easier to trade. Much easier to trade. This is so typical for the market to pull back and stop almost exactly where this support was. Okay. So what do I think is going to happen? Well, for the members, make sure you read your email because everybody saw the email text that I read at the very beginning of this video, right? And it was extremely accurate. Right? I said there's going to be a big move in the market. And sure enough, there was. It was a big move, over 100 points. So read your emails tonight, members. If you want to become a member, stick around to the end of the video and I'll show you how to do that, okay? All right, so February 25th, is this a big deal? May become a big deal. Yeah, it may. This cycle right here that I have may actually turn out to be a pretty decent cycle. And then, of course, we've got these other ones out here in the middle of March, and this one I said is April 11th, I think, way over here. Okay. So tomorrow's going to be an interesting day. We could get a bounce back day. That's also kind of typical. Could get a bounce back day, and then again, we might not. We might see more decline. And we could start getting down into this 48.72. Remember I said on the weekly chart 48.69, right? Well, there it is. There's the 48.72 on the daily and 48.69 on the weekly. You can see where it's being pulled from. Okay, on the weekly it's obvious, and here it is on the daily, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 candlesticks making up this support. All right, that's how it works, guys and gals. That's how support works. Especially if you're returning to numbers that have already been set. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's the market's going up or down. If the market's moving to numbers that have already been set before, then it's very likely that the market will gravitate towards previous obvious support and resistance points. So now we're talking about support, right? Because the market's coming down. You can see back here, look at this candlestick, this candlestick, this candlestick, and approximately this group of candlesticks, this candlestick, right? So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and a little of this group right here, all establishing this support line. Okay, this one's a little bit trickier. It's kind of intermediate because it was just made up of one big candlestick. That's a little bit trickier. So, but there it is right there at 48.08 because that was a big candlestick, so it kind of makes its own support, 66 almost. Okay, but yeah, I think 48.72 is probably going to happen here. Now, will it happen tomorrow? I can't say that for sure, but I do believe it's going to happen probably fairly soon. Because this is also very almost identical to the weekly number, right? So this number right here is a pretty big number. I think we'll get down to that 48.72. So you're looking at another 100 points down to this one, right from where we're at right now at this moment. But from the low for today, which was 36, okay, 36 and another 30, 66, approximately somewhere right in that area. All right. Yeah, 66, maybe a little less, like 64-ish. So another 64 points from the bottom of that candlestick to there. I think that's going to happen. Again, for members, make sure you read tonight's email because I already have a sense about what I think is going to happen for tomorrow, okay? Or at least if it's not tomorrow, it's soon. But anyway, the information that goes in email is extremely important, right? Some days that email is going to be like spot on, super critical. Other days it may be a little more vague because that's the way the market is, right? That's the way it really is. I don't like putting out information that if there isn't like a high degree of certainty, because it's important to just make sure that we get the data and analyze the data as best as we can, so that the emails have my best opinion, okay, about what I think the market's going to do. That's basically what I'm trying to get to. Okay, let's look at the intraday charts. We'll talk about the trades of the day. All right, I don't normally show the hourly chart too often to the public, but today we're going to show it. So obviously there's some big half circles, arcs on this chart. These are cycles that I put on there. And I look at these cycles just about every day and make sure that they're as accurate as I think I can get them. Okay. So we'll talk about the cycles in here first, and then we'll talk about this obvious trade right here. Okay. So yesterday we hit the all-time high of 5066.5 on the futures. All right. I took a good look at the cycles yesterday, and I redrew some cycles in here to make sure that they were accurate, like I said. And I came up with that there was a 7 o'clock cycle low and a 9 o'clock cycle low in the morning, my time, CST time. Well, what do you know? What happened at 7 o'clock? I mean, seriously. That's this green cycle right here. Okay, green cycle going down this way. Yes. And then 9 o'clock. Well, sure enough, there it is. It went down even further. Okay. And then, of course, the market tried to rebound here and it utterly failed. Right? So these two cycles were just absolutely banging. Right? They were extremely accurate right to the hour. It's crazy how accurate these cycles can be sometimes. This is the hourly chart. The members get this chart. They get this chart, streaming chart. Okay, this chart is streaming to the members right now, as a matter of fact. It's up and streaming. All right, and there's a 15-minute version of this, and there's a 5-minute version of this. Okay, the hourly chart's the only one that has this. Well, the daily and the hourly chart have the cycles on them. The shorter time frames, the 15-minute and 5-minute, don't. It's just too difficult to try to draw cycles on those charts. They don't really make any sense. The time frames are too quick, so we don't bother with those short time frames. But on the hourly chart, the cycles are often very good. I'm not saying they're always there, but a lot of times they're there. Okay, and then obviously the trade here at 1 a.m. this morning came up last night. And was it on? Was this timing good? And for those who don't know, the GETUS Plus indicator equals timing, and these indicators down here equal direction. Okay, and there's some other things like more than just this, but this is just timing. Did the GETUS Plus time this trade right? Yes, it timed it excellent. Excellent timing. Purple candlestick, triangle, bam. All right, so there's your trade of the day right there. Super nice. All right, if you want to become a member, there is a link in the description just below this YouTube video. It's a Discord link. Make sure you read the instructions very carefully before you join. Once you do that and click on the link, it's going to bring you over to this GETUS server. Click on server shop. Go here. This page is going to come up. Come here. Just click subscribe. $7.99, guys and gals. I mean, okay. I've been talking about this. I look at other people's memberships and other services that are provided. They charge all this crazy money, and they never show their profits because I don't think they're very profitable. And if they are, well, they're not. You know, why wouldn't you show it? But very few people who have membership services like I have are actually showing their trades or showing their profitability. You know. But today you saw I traded today, made $1,000. Okay. So the service I use, my service is legit. Are you going to make $1,000 if you join? It has a lot to do with your account size. It has to do with your maturity. There's a lot that goes into it. It's not just, hey, GETUS makes 1,000. I'm going to make 1,000. But I do believe the membership does provide tremendous value for $8 a month. Okay. When you join, just click on the stream down here. You get the streaming charts. Okay. Put your email in the emails only channel. You get the nightly email, which includes the daily chart of the S&P 500 with the cycles on there. Okay. There's some premium symbols I put in here. You can check out the symbols. Anything that gets alerted here goes over to this alert channel, so you can click on notifications by right-clicking on this and turn the notifications on. Super nice. Just some other alerts in here. Okay, everything here is members only. The public doesn't get into this. Only paying members get into this. Okay, so take advantage of it. The price is crazy, crazy inexpensive. All right, happy trading, everybody. God bless everybody. Talk to you all real soon again next time.